guys, this is Spark Plus Ultra here, and this is part 2 on what if Deku had Mizore ability. And I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. Azumi Todoroki was going and her brother was up in the morning. Azumi was trying to make something for her family. That and not endeavor. But when she was cooking, she's doing okay at first, but when she was checking the temperature, this happened. She touches the pan or whatever, and then she got burnt and screams and yelling, "Ah!" freezing the whole dinner. And when her hair turns to ice, and then she realizes, oh no, not again. And Todoroki and their big sister says, Azumi, are you okay? And they were not that surprised, but surprised enough that it's happens like a few times, not many. But she and Todoroki asked, why did you try to make something for breakfast? You have a fear of heat. Just when we want to make something nice for you guys. It's just my fear of heat. Then the big sister made the meal and says, don't worry, Azumi, you can always try again. And Azumi helps, he's a little sad and says, okay. Then they gone to school, and then All Might came and says, don't worry, because I am here! And all the class 1A was shouting, saying, yeah! And Azumi was confused on why. And All Might says, I'm walking like a hero out of the door. And Azumi put 1 to 1 together and puts her 2 hands on and making a fist and putting it down and says, oh, All Might. I didn't know that he was going to be looking like that. Thinking to herself, oh, I do remember your mom showing us him sometime. But All Might begins to tell the UA student to get suited up, and it's time for a training exam. And get your hero gear on and how your hero costume look on you. And this is one of the unique times of this. Then Izumi the changing room first, and she's wearing a pink kimono and a bit of those things that you walk on. Those wooden things. I don't know what they called, but I'll look it up. And Izumi says, this is not much better. And Izumi and Izumi asks Todoroki, how do I look? And Todoroki looks at her and you really need to wear that. I did make my hero costume based off of the snow woman. And Mineta says, looking around, looking at her body, and says, I love this school. And All Might, who is telling them that about it's heroes versus villains, and both teams will be paired up by 2 people, and the other team will be the heroes and the other team will be the villains. And Izumi is paired up with Kirishima. Whoa! Now this is surprising. And Oraka is paired up with Sero. And both teams, and the team who is going first is Izumi and Kirishima versus Ida and Bakugo. And the hero team versus villain team. Okay. Alright. Now let's get to moving. And Izumi says, wait, Kirishima, we need to devise a plan first. Alright, sorry. I always think before I act. I think I can freeze all of the building, but I don't know where to find them. Hey, I can harden my body to a strong level. And Izumi has a plan. And whispering to Kirishima, and Kirishima says, oh yeah, I like that idea. And Zumi and Kirishima go. Zumi freezes the chain, and Kirishima breaks it, shattering the chain, iced chain. And they go in a stealth position. Bakugo is looking for them. And Azumi makes a ice clone out of Kirishima and her at what they're saying. And Bakugo thinks, huh, there they are. Do they really think I'm dumb that they are hiding? And Azumi and Bakugo hits with one of his blasts, but the ice crumbles, and the clone says, "Heh, we fooled ya. Can't believe that was easy." And Uzumi freezes Bakugo's feet and Bakugo says, "What the hell?" And Kirishima clotheslines him. Ding ding. All right. And high five. And they both tied him up in the capture tape and finding Ida in the next floor. Huh? Did Bakugo lose? They have to protect the weapon. And Azumi says, "Not so fast." Freezing the floor at a near second. And Ida slips and making a thud. And Kirishima touched the bomb, and All Might says, "Hero Team wins!" And they're going to be analyzing and Momo says it was Azumi and Kirishima's teamwork that played out the best. And using Azumi's stealth tricks and Kirishima's force and tactical planning out, they fooled Bakugo and taking him out quickly. And Azumi says I did this when I was a kid with karaoke. And Kirishima hugs Azumi, and we make a good team. And Azumi tapping out, nearing her breathing, saying, "Kirishima, I can't breathe." "Oh, sorry. It's okay." And Azumi feels boom, boom in her chest. and the hero and villain exam has been done, and Izumi and all the other UA girls were going to change. Then Mineta was peeking and through the hole and says, "Wow, all the babes are changing right before me. Seeing this wonderful," and saying a certain one, her Azumi's looks and her posture and Jiro stabs Mineta in the eye, and Todoroki says, "What was that?" and freezing Mineta. And that's what you get. And Izumi says, what was that? And Izumi goes, and all the UA students and Izumi and Ida and Ochaka were talking about how their families are in different in different places, in jobs. And Ida says, "I am the son of the great Ingenium." And Izumi says, "Oh, I remember them. They were a speedster heroes that help in agencies." And then Izumi says, and Ida asks, "So what's your pro heroes you are seemingly you are, and you and Todoroki seemingly have close family, like, and judging from their personalities, they're almost identical." And she says, "My father is Denver." And Achako says, "Wow, that's amazing. I wish it wasn't." And Achako says, why? And then the alarm came. All the students were coming at a stampeding. And Ida sees the teachers holding back the people who were getting in, and Ida had a plan and tells Uzumi to put him up on the ledge, and Uzumi throws him up there, and he was telling them, "Everybody, don't you want to be heroes? This isn't how you're supposed to act like it. You don't need to be afraid of him." And all the stampeding dissipates. And Ida was voted as president. And all are going on the bus. And Izumi sits next to Kirishima. "Hey, Izumi bro, how's it going?" "Nothing much." And Kirishima says, "How do you always have great stealth and ice control? It's impressive. And just lots of training, I guess." And Kirishima says, "Awesome." And the bus stops, and all of the UA go to USJ, and they meet "13. And 13 was telling them about how dangerous the quirk can be if they might hurt civilians. And Izumi thinks about that a lot, and that. Then villains came out of the portal, and all the class says, "Wait, training starts now?" And all the heroes, Ozawa and 13, says, "No, they're not training, they're real." And all the class were surprised on how villains infiltrated USJ. And Ozawa goes into that one-man army, and Toshi is sent all of some parts of Class 1A to different places. Izumi in a aquatic area. And then a villain comes in. Sorry, kid, but this is nothing personal. And Izumi uses her ice more on her plate creating than on the water, because in the water she might freeze herself. And throws a ice curry and at him and hits his arm. Son of a... And dodges out of the way and swims back up. And Sue is right behind her. And goes on the boat. And all the villains surrounded them. And Izumi and Rapi and Manetta told them how their quirks work. Hers is frog, and Manetta's is Papa. And he tells them that he can throw these purple balls off of his head and sticks to anything except himself. And they both look at him and Mineta says, "Damn it, I didn't want to show my quirk. This is why I don't want to tell it." And Izumi says, It's okay, it's fine. It's not a bad quirk." Oh, it says to the ice princess who can freeze anything. And Izumi's quirk is... And Izumi tells her quirk. Mine is Yuki Onna. Yuki Onna is a quirk that can create ice no matter the limitation. But if I get near to hot things, I will overdo my ice. So her quirk works in a certain places besides fire or something that brings heat. And she shooks. Then they devise a plan, but this one is a simple one because Izumi's quirk allows her to freeze anything. Even water that is very easily that. And Izumi freezes the parts of the water where the villains surrounded them. And she goes into her ice demon form. Her hair turns to ice, and her hair goes long down to making her hair into ice. Then they see Tomura Shigaraki and the Nomu. And the Nomu is beating the absolute hell out of Azawa. And Shigaraki nearly touching Sue before Azawa stopped his quirk. And Zumi sees what his quirk can do. He then gets a lot angry and freezes the Nomu and getting Azawa out of there. And Azumi then the Nomu breaks out of Azumi's ice. Eesh. How strong is this thing? And Shigaraki says it competes with All Might, so don't even try killing it. It's no use. And Azumi tries to find ways to damage it, but freezing his arm just regenerates him. He can regenerate his arm. And the only weakness is that head. And then the door busts and All Might says, "Don't worry, because I am here." And getting angry, and the villains say, "Hurry, let's take him out." Then All Might hits, taking them out in a blur. And Todoroki comes to in the plane, and Mizore says, and Zumi says, "Todoroki, it does not work. Ice does not affect him. I tried it more than once. But I can keep him still for a second." And Azumi tries, and All Might Bakugo hits, gets Tomura and lays him down. And All Might goes beyond and hitting the Nomu faster than his shock absorption can take it, and says, "It's time to go beyond plus ultra," and sends the Nomu flying. And Shigaraki getting angry and says, "No, happening. And Zoom and Shigaragi, please. And Class 1A goes to take a 1 week off of school. And the tournament arc has